Slay.
Welcome to Italy, babes.
Yeah, I love their anthem.
Yeah, jeez. Welcome back to Gears and Glory. If you can't tell, this is our Monza recap. I don't know. Monza's Monza.
Yeah. Monza's always, it's always given us something. If you didn't watch the race, we'll cover you off in all the important bits because it was actually, all things considered, a pretty boring race. Yeah. Quickest race in history. I think it was 72 or 74 minutes.
Yeah, it was something. I think it was 72 and like 23 seconds or something.
Yeah, it was quick AF. But a quick disclaimer. Liv and I, we are going to remain unbiased to the McLaren rules regarding the pit stop that occurred on lap 43. Purely because, we're here to share facts, not necessarily share opinions. So we're looking at the McLaren situation from a bird's eye perspective to give everyone an overview, regardless of what side of the fence you sit on, and hope that you can at least see both sides. Because, when you look at it like that, you do understand it in a way.
Yeah. I feel like Brit and I have flipped back and forth on what was right and wrong on that, and I think we've come to our senses. We've come to realise that it wasn't that deep. And if you're a McLaren fan or just haven't watched this race at all, or you know nothing about what's happened in this race, I fear we may have just scared you. It's really not that drastic. It wasn't that bad of an incident. It's fine. But yeah, don't
just
be scared.
Another case of papaya rules.
Yeah, it's just a bit of entertainment. True entertainment came from somebody else on the track with that, but yeah, I don't know whether there's a lot to touch on with the practice sessions. We had some
really. Yeah, we had some rookies. So we had Alex Dunn in for Oscar in FP1, and then we had Paul Aaron in for Colapinto as well. Charles also overtook a Sauber under red flag conditions.
Things.
Surprisingly didn't get a penalty. I think it's just because of the timing. It really didn't seem like too much happened. But George did lose power with a hydraulic issue. And then Ferrari were P1 and P2 in FP1, which definitely... P1, P2? Yeah. Which gave the Tifosi a little bit of...
It gave really bad false hope, actually. Because
a lot of false hope.
I had literally said to my mum hours before that, obviously Giorgio Armani's just died. The last time we're in Monza or last time wherever we raced, when the Pope died, Charles Leclerc won. Yeah. Is it a great Italian sacrifice or a bad omen?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. And that made me think, hey, it's an Italian sacrifice. Perfect.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
False hope. It's Monday.
So much hope. Sadly, Kimi was into the gravel in FP2. Just brought too much speed into the corner, had an oversteer tip into spin. Isaac, Alex, and Charles kind of all got unlucky with the gravel traps, but the session finished with Norris P1, Charles P2, Carlos P3. Again, kind of giving the Tifosi a bit of false hope.
A little bit. I did not watch a single free practice session, but I just kept seeing my Twitter notifications come up, or X, whatever you call it now, and it was Charles Leclerc narrowly misses the gravel at Ascari again, and I'm like, what is going on? What is happening? And I considered turning free practice on for a minute, but what is this man's luck with gravel and walls recently?
Yeah, he's really he's been scaring me lately. I won't even lie.
The Monaco curse has just turned into the Charles Leclerc everywhere curse. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just like the 2025 curse.
Yeah, it's really been tragic. And it has been for the entirety of Ferrari. I don't know. I had mixed hopes for Lewis coming into this season. Like, I thought, 7-time world champion. If anyone can wrangle a Ferrari, surely it's Lewis. But then the Ferrari is just even crapper than it seems to before. Like, I don't know how we went backwards, but I'm kind of sad for Lewis. I feel like he's been robbed because I feel like the potential was there. Like, the fresh mindset coming out of, like, what was, like, probably a detrimental few seasons at the end of it with Mercedes. Like, at the start, I thought this is going to be a clear head, like, great run. But, yeah.
That is sadly not how things played out.
And as the season starts to close, I'm getting really sad about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that for everyone, the 2026 season will be a bit more even, and then we will actually see some more dreams come true. FP3 was pretty boring, so let's jump into qualifying. Liv, do you want to take it away?
This felt like a fever dream because, like, obviously it's like quite late at night for Australia. I've not thought about F1 all weekend. Literally haven't thought about it. I've been, like, focused on F2, F3. I forgot F1 was even racing in Monza. Quite frankly, Beta Series, they're their own level of chaos in Monza. Yeah. Like, there's more cars in, like, F3's got 30 cars on track. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a lot of traffic.
The tow, the traffic, the DRS trains, obviously not in, like, qualifying or practice, whatever, but, like, it's chaos. Yeah. I feel like I was half asleep with this, but Mercedes were the only team to go out on bloody mediums while everybody else went out on softs.
Like, why?
Are you awake? I thought I was meant to be asleep, not you.
But also, I thought that Pirelli mandated what tyres had to be used each session.
That's what I thought too, and I'm beginning to think it was just for the sprint qualifying. Which I don't know why that makes a difference.
Maybe that was... I think it was just for a tester a couple races last season.
Got you.
But I don't think it was mandated.
So I remember there being something about, like, you have to use hards, medium, softs, whatever, but mediums regardless that just felt like a really odd choice. You're in qualifying on a low downforce, high speed circuit, and you want to go on mediums.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to give you a clue, but it worked out in George's favour somehow miraculously.
Yeah.
I don't remember where Kimi finished in qualifying, but
he qualified for George.
Oh, okay. Worked out for Kimi as well somehow, but I think Kimi ended up going back in for softs at some point. Carlos, gravel all over the track. Everyone was clearing the edge of these gravel traps all weekend.
Yeah.
They were just like, have some gravel all over the track.
Everywhere.
The witch's broom's constantly coming out.
Particularly turn 7.
Is that one of the Lesmos? Yeah. No. Yeah?
I don't know. They don't look the same.
I'll Google it later, but I'll agree with you. Sounds about right. Sounds about the part in the lap, about halfway through. Yeah, so Carlos was, like, struggling, hitting the gravel. 7 minutes to go in the session. He darted to the top of the timing screen. P3.
Huge slay.
In a Williams. And, like, I don't know why we're all that shocked. He had been P3 in, like, basically every free practice session.
Yes.
Reiterate. In a Williams. Which...
Yeah. In a Williams in qualifying when everyone else is pushing. Like, that's the difference between here and free practice, is everyone else is pushing.
Yeah, exactly. Across the board, everyone was just having issues with track limits, hitting the gravel, braking. Chaos. Like I said, Monza. Welcome to Monza. And then my goat, Fernando Alonso, jumping straight up to P2 as well.
Woo!
What is with these slow cars doing well? And, like, this was a theme this weekend. Like,
yeah,
slow cars. Just like we'd expect. Slipstream issues everywhere. Ocon was heavily complaining about coming out. I believe he was either stuck behind someone or he came out with nobody ahead of him and he wanted the tow.
Right.
Complaining over the radio, and Laura was like, these are the rules, like, my bad. Just have to get over it, basically. And I feel like maybe it's just me, I don't know, maybe I've missed it, but I feel like we haven't heard a great deal of like Ocon Laura radio this season.
No, but you know what? Soph seems to hear a lot more, and I do wonder if it's coming through on the F1 TV a bit more, or if perhaps she just has more access to it because she can see all of the radios
True,
for
yeah.
each driver. But yeah, definitely not on the Sky Sports broadcast do we see many discussions between Ocon and Laura.
And the ones we have seen have all been very friendly and, oh, love you.
Yes.
And it was kind of nice to see her bite back and be like, well, no, like, drive, get over it. Because, you know, stick it to the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the final laps, Kimi, Ocon, and Leon. Hello? Leon? Liam. Oh my gosh. It's too early on a Monday. Liam all dropped into what I'm now calling the relegation zone. Get him out of here.
I love that it's the relegation zone. I think we should make it.
Literally. What do you mean the like dropout zone or like the elimination zone? This is the relegation zone. Perform better.
I love it.
But that's just me being mean. But yeah, like I mentioned before, Kimi did end up going back into the pit lane to get softs on, struggled for on those, while George on his mediums was going fine somehow. George Russell, the man you are. Thank you. But yeah, as the session ended, George was back up on the top, and we lost Hadjar for the first time in Q1 in his F1.
Yeah, first out of, I think he had like what round are we in? So he had a 15 race streak.
That's insane.
That's insane for a rookie.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane for anyone. It's particularly insane for a rookie.
Yeah, literally. And I keep seeing the memes about it with, like, you know, when Lightning McQueen like breaks and doesn't win the Piston Cup to go back.
Yes.
Isaac purposely getting out in Q1 to avoid that Red Bull seat. It's so funny for no reason. Like, it is so funny.
It is a great, it's a great joke. I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, Hadjar P16, Stroll P17, Colapinto P18, Gasly P19, and Liam Lawson P20. Last.
Yeah. R.I.P. Leon.
Between and Hadjar getting out in Q1, I feel like not only was that sad and heartbreaking for me, I feel like it was a little bit shocking because both of them have been Q1 a lot. Obviously, every other race, but Gasly's been up there a fair amount. So, as heartbreaking it was, it was also shocking.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Actually, no, I'll talk about that after we finish up Q3 before we do the race starts. Just the pit lane starts. They're probably in Soph's notes anyway. It's fine. Once again, though, props to Soph. Obviously, you guys can hear that she's not here. She's out gallivanting the country. I don't know. She's traveling somewhere. But she ever so kindly continued to do our notes for this episode, which was a lovely message to wake up to this morning because I was unsure what to talk about because I didn't watch any of the sessions except for the race. So I was a bit worried.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, much appreciation for Soph. Please give her some love. So Q2. Once again, as mentioned, we had the marshals with the witch broom sweeping the gravel off the track. Then we had Lando called back to the pits to the second last run. Maybe not enough fuel, high pressure to end the session. I think he was perhaps in quite low in the ranking and maybe wouldn't
relegation zone.
Yeah, the relegation zone. Alex put in a hell of a lap, couldn't improve out of the relegation zone. Lando was bumped down into the relegation zone. Only just gets himself out on the very last lap, did jump way up the order, and Soph's note said, I kind of got excited at the notion that he'd be out in Q2.
And that Oscar Championship lead.
Yeah, she's a woman of truth, you know?
Can't lie.
I can't lie. I'm sure there are many other people that also felt the same.
Yeah.
So once Q2 finished, it was Ollie P11, Nico P12, Carlos P13, Albon P15, and Albon P14, Ocon P15.
Carlos
then,
shocked me there.
Hmm?
Carlos shocked me there because,
Yeah.
like, obviously such a strong weekend prior. And then just
I definitely thought that Carlos would be through to Q3.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit weird, actually, because we didn't get... Okay, let me bring up the top 10, because we don't have those.
We've definitely talked about this before, but I think in Australia, the broadcast has gone funny, and it seems like it cuts all the time. I don't know whether I am missing things, whether, like, I've not seen, like, Carlos has been impeded or something. Like, did I miss what happened to him, or was it just he couldn't go faster?
Yeah, look, I mean, maybe he had track limits and had a time deleted.
KO's not my friend at the moment with the shoddy Wi-Fi I have.
No, I feel like I'm always bloody hating on, the pixelation and the cutting out and everything, but I fear that may be my internet, not necessarily. Yeah. I can't find anything that says why Carlos qualified where he did. Not sure, but yeah, let's just get into Q3.
Yeah. So noted a fun fact graphic that popped up on her screen. Ferrari has 23 pole positions at Monza, which is more than any other track. So that's kind of Ferrari.
Oh my god,
pole positions more than any other team at any other track. Like,
that's actually wild.
Yeah, and like we have 24 tracks on this calendar, but there's so many other tracks from the past. So like,
yeah,
that's insane. That's kind of a cool stat.
That is a really cool stat.
Ferrari does well at home.
Also interesting because like Charles qualified P4 last year, so that's not even counting at least last year's race, and 2023 was the year of Max domination. So I don't remember what it was, but I'm assuming Max was P1 in 2023 as well. So,
well, I think the Sky broadcast said that Charles Leclerc's last pole at Monza was 22 or 2019.
Right.
So a fair while ago for that to still be like the statistic.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I like that. Putting that, Soph, because that kind of broke up a bit of sadness there.
No, that's a good fact. I like that.
But yeah, Yuki Tsunoda into Q3, which
Yuki Tsunoda and Gabby, huge slay.
I know, and you know what? Gabby has been really, really doing well the second half of this season, and I think like obviously like I think his talent and his drive was always there. He always had the performance in himself, but this Sauber has gotten better. Like obviously they've got up every now and then, but like they've hit the nail on the hammer.
Yeah. I agree though. I do think that Gabby has been rather consistent.
Yeah. And it's paying off for him, which I'm glad, because once we get into the race, he did pretty well for quite a while up the front there. Like yeah. Fernando into Q3. Not really surprised.
No.
Maybe a bit surprised, but like obviously he's got it in.
Yeah.
Back to the Mercedes on mediums issue. George wanting mediums for Q3, which is a wild concept to want mediums for Q3.
Yeah. That's a weird request, I must say. I don't know if he actually did get the mediums.
No, I'm not sure. But I mean, to be in his like fairness, like he did well in Q1 on the mediums to get himself so high up. So
yeah.
Maybe he knew something the rest of the grid didn't. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know what's going on. Maybe we don't know what's going on, sorry, I should say.
Maybe we should become engineers because maybe we need to learn. I mean, other than that, qualifying was like Q1, sorry, was Q3. I got it wrong like 3 times. Q3 was like kind of average. It was okay.
Yeah. I've
I
got the
think
top.
Lando pretty quickly went to P1 before being knocked off by
Yeah.
Maximum.
Yeah, so I think it was the last like kind of 3 to run where Oscar went through first, got pole, Lando went through second, took it from him, and then Max came through on an absolute flyer and beat the lap record
Yeah.
for like literally the fastest F1 lap ever.
Yeah.
And took pole from Lando as well.
Yeah.
And then that was the end. I think there was still a couple cars on track. I think there was like Kimi and Lewis. But for the cars that were on track, none of them had like purple sectors, so none of them were really gunning for Max's pole. But the top 10 ended up being P1 Max, P2 Lando, P3 Oscar, P4 Charles, P5 Lewis, but he did have a grid penalty, so he actually dropped to 10th. P6 George, which was actually P5, P7 Kimi, P8 Gabby, P9 Nando, P10 Yuki, and that was the 10.
Yeah. And you know what? I can't lie, I quite like that mix in there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, you've got some teams you wouldn't expect necessarily, some drivers you wouldn't necessarily expect, and obviously some that you know are going to be there. Max Verstappen on pole adds up.
Yeah.
I like that top 10. It was pretty solid.
Yeah, that was a good mix of top 10. Now let's start with the race, but pre-race, the formation lap, Nico was actually told Box to retire the car, so he was actually a DNS. There was a critical failure. I don't know if there was much. They didn't really talk about it after that on the broadcast, and I haven't seen his post-race interview to see the details. But yeah, he was pretty annoyed on the radio, which sucks.
Understandably.
Absolutely. Then we had Hadjar and Gasly starting from the pit lane. So that meant that we had 17 cars on the grid to start.
Which looked so funny, might I add.
Yeah, it did look really weird, I must say. But getting into the start, what the fuck? What the hell was that?
Yeah, that's literally the only way to put it.
I was absolutely stressed. So if you missed it, not only was there a battle between Max and Lando for P1, there was also a battle between Oscar and Charles for P3. And, well,
Lando
Monza is not wide enough. Monza is not wide enough for these drivers to be pulling out the moves that they were doing at turn 1. Because Lando ended up on the dirt in the pit straight. He was in the dirt. Then when he came back onto track, very late on the brakes, Max missed the corner, cut the first corner, and overtook off track. Behind, Charles and Oscar were going side by side, and it didn't look like either of them were braking going into that turn 1. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen or who was going to end up where.
No. And you know what? That was I understand turn 1 is always chaos. I feel like this weekend it was like more chaos.
It was hyped.
Yeah.
It was chaos.
Like, not even F1. I always go back to F2 and F3.
And we love it.
I love the feeder series. But I cannot tell you how many cars were taken out, cut the first chicane. Like, turn 1 was chaos. Like, we had drivers T-boning drivers, spinning drivers, like...
Actually, yeah. I saw, I can never pronounce his name. Lindbad's on board going into turn 1, and he just didn't turn.
You know what the worst thing is? He had no front wing for laps. He had just come out of the pit lane. He got fresh tyres. Campos just did not change his front wing.
Oh, no.
Hey, you would have lost a lot of positions on track, but you would have actually been able to finish the race. And Roman Stanek would be able to finish his. I'm so angry about that. And yeah, I'll continue the joke with Brit off camera because it's probably not one for on camera, but I was very worried about Robin Stennick's mental health.
Yeah, yikes. Yeah, that Monza turn 1 is tricky. I've tried to play it in the game, and I get track limits every single time. It's not good. It's not good. I don't know how these guys do it.
We need to get all three of us to stream playing the game because Monza and Austria are the only 2 tracks I can finish. Like, I cannot finish a lap on any other circuit.
Really? I'm pretty good at Albert Park.
Oh, turn 3. Don't know why. Yeah. Anyway, back to the actual Monza Grand Prix. Yeah, through lap 1, absolute chaos. I think Britt and I genuinely were Snapchatting each other, just going for the whole first 2 laps. Every time you thought the battle was over, the other driver bit back again. Like,
yes, and Charles was he was defending really well. I will give him that. Like, he had his elbows out, similar to the move he made on George last week, but a little bit less aggressive. But I was genuinely worried that him and Oscar were going to take each other out.
Yeah.
Or at least that Oscar was going to get a wing end plate taken.
Yeah. They were close.
So after Max pretty much overtook and went off track and gained an advantage, he was told to give the position back to Lando. They switched. Max was behind for a little bit, and then he ended up overtaking Lando not too far after. It was maybe the next lap. Charles took P3 from Oscar. Oscar ended up taking it back a little while later. A little further down the field, though, Gabby Bortoletto passing George Russell. However, George does take it right back. So this was, this was kind of how the start was. Everyone was kind of taking it and taking it back. No one was really making it stick.
Yeah, no. And, like, I say all the time, I love this, like, constant battle. I love, like, an interesting F1 race. I don't know, this almost took it too far. I was almost too stressed. Not quite, but, like, I was, like bordering.
Yes. I think I have to agree. Like, maybe if it was just one battle to look at, it would be fine. But the fact it was, like, 3, I was like, this is too much.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. And it was like, it was almost a repeat of last year's Monza, except with different drivers battling. So obviously, instead of Oscar and Lando trying to kill each other, it was like Lando and Max and Oscar and Charles. And I don't know. It was very full on, but we saw 2023 Max Verstappen return last night.
Yeah. He remembered he was a 4-time world champ.
Yeah, he was like, actually, wait a minute, I could use this.
Yeah.
He forgot.
You know what? Maybe it's because Kelly isn't pregnant anymore. You know, his daughter arrived safely. She's thriving. And he's like, okay, I don't have to worry about them anymore. Like, they're thriving. I can get back to locking in.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's time for me to daddy up.
Yeah. One way to put it.
So anyway,
he pretty quickly ran away. Like, as soon as he positioned back from Lando, I think he was like instantly like 3 seconds ahead.
Yeah, which I'm actually surprised about, noting that the McLarens are so fast. Yeah. But what this has obviously proven is that the McLarens are fast when it is a low downforce circuit. I've forgotten if Monza is high or low downforce.
Monza's low.
McLaren are good when it's a high downforce setup, and Max is just proving that he is a really good driver, regardless of the car. Yeah. I think that is what we saw. The difference between them in this race is their skill as a driver with the machinery that they get given.
And I think that's like something so noteworthy. Like, obviously, we've spoken about it a lot here that, like, yes, McLaren is running away with the Drivers' Championship, but, like, they're also not that far ahead, and Max could snatch it if McLaren step wrong. And Las Vegas, I'm pretty sure, is a low downforce circuit. You know, if Max can catch McLaren's a little bit by then, chance he can like engage in a last minute fight for that championship.
Yeah. I think from what we've seen this year so far, like the more street circuit style tracks,
Yeah.
McLaren are not amazing at, you know?
No. And that's exciting because Baku's next round.
Exactly.
I love Baku.
Yeah, Baku is good. Although Baku always makes me miss Perez.
Yeah, especially after last year. I think it's last year. We've like, if you guys didn't watch last year, Brit and I did a live coverage of Baku. I think it was my mum before the race, like predicted like Charles Leclerc or something was going to crash. She's like, a Ferrari is going to crash, and very last minute, Sergio Perez absolutely obliterated all signs into the wall.
Yes. I remember that. Yeah, and your mum was like, "No, I feel like a Ferrari is just going to DNF," and then like 2 hours later, Perez was like, "See ya."
Yeah,
just completely.
He was like, actually, I think Danielle said something about this, and I think I need to help her out.
There's a disturbing force. I must take out the Ferrari. I can't wait to see Perez in Baku next year.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Checo to be back point blank. Like,
yeah.
I'm excited for Bottas too, but
I don't think we really spoke about this last episode. But yeah, Perez and Valtteri announces the drivers for Cadillac.
Yes.
To no one's surprise, obviously. It was as
worst
expected. But I must say the way that both of them announced their news, so on brand. So on brand. It was perfect. Perez, a little sit down, very serious video. I can't wait to be back on track, sharing the love to all of his fans and the support. And Valtteri announced it by drinking a beer in a suit, surfing, holding the American flag.
Yeah.
Absolute slay. And I cannot wait for their content.
No, me neither. I actually like it's looking solid already. So imagine once they're actually racing.
Yeah.
And you know what is so funny actually about Perez's announcement? He did it in that like office building, right? But a week or two before he announced that, he posted a photo sitting at that desk on his laptop, right? So he obviously just filmed it. And I said, I love Checo, but I said to Mum, had to get a desk job after being ditched from F1.
Little did you know.
His announcement for coming back. So,
also speaking of announcements, this week Danny Rick made a post that he made a very ominous post.
Yeah.
Tagging Ford Racing. And it was kind of a couple days. People suspected what that meant. I personally never suspected that he would be back behind the wheel of an F1 car. But a lot of people suspected that because Red Bull was going to be bringing in Ford next year, that it was, going hand in hand. Yeah. Couple of days later, so I think it was Friday in Oz, he announced that he's a Ford Racing ambassador. So he's like the face of the brand and he's going to be at events and doing things like that. So yeah, we're going to see a lot more Danny out and about in the social world.
Yeah.
Which I'm so excited for.
Announced that he was done with racing and riding, which a little bit of a scab.
I didn't want to talk about that.
Yeah, racing is my path.
As much as I knew it. Like, I fear for his mental health, he can't keep trying again.
No.
But one thing I will say is I really hope he gets rid of the beard.
I like it.
No.
I like Hogan.
All right, he needs to get rid of the beard or he needs to have a haircut. He can't have both the way they are. It needs to be one or the other.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I like it. I think I like how scrappy he looks, but like, I don't know. And honestly, a part of me, like with that Ford announcement, I kind of hoped, I knew deep down he had nothing to do with him getting behind the wheel. But I really hoped it was an announcement for his wild card. That's what I was really hoping.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's got the relationship with Red Bull and Red Bull Ampol switching to Ford next year as well. Yeah. So I thought is this a Bathurst wildcard in their Triple Eight entry? Because they have half a Bathurst.
So cool. I genuinely would have gone. I would have gone to Bathurst and I would have watched it.
Well, I'm really sad because that's what we always spoke about, like, wanting to do a Bathurst wildcard. Now he's saying that racing is his path, so are we never going to get... imagine a Denny Rick Valtteri Bottas wildcard entry. Are you kidding me?
Look, I unfortunately never take anything that Danny says as true because he's played us once before by saying he's never coming back. So I do believe he's never coming back to F1 or like real competitive racing, like team racing. But I wouldn't put him past him to just like dip in a wild card.
We beg you. We beg you.
All right, let's get back to Monza. Notable penalties. Welcome back. 5-second penalty to Ocon. We've missed you.
Never dies, does it? Never dies.
Yeah, so good. So good. And then there were just a few notes. So I've had just a few notes on Kimi, which, look, for his home Grand Prix, it was a bit of a struggle. Obviously started P6, he was down to P10 by lap 14, and then was back up to P10 by lap 18, and then he did get a couple track limits, and then eventually a 5-second penalty for driving erratically, which does suck. So that means that he was out of the points.
Yeah.
A bit shitty. Kimi started his season off strong, and I think that because he's so young and there's so much pressure on him to perform well, I think that his after his really good qualifying, that's the race following where he didn't perform very well, he's just been a little bit in his head and been like, no, I have to be better, and he's just kind of like overthinking a lot.
Yeah.
And is just kind of like a bit in his head.
I feel so bad for this kid because people need to remember he was literally in Frecker like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's not
He's
normal.
like fresh 18.
Yeah, like he is a baby. Like, this isn't a normal pathway, so of course he's going to make mistakes. And overall, he's done pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, he never got to experience F3. He had a pretty crappy season in F2. Like, Prema really struggled last year.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't had like a great deal of experience, I suppose. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think he's not bad.
Yeah, I do feel for him. On track limits, Gasly did get a black and white flag on lap 37. I don't think a penalty came out of that. I think he kind of willed it in pretty well, which is good considering it's 53 lap race. Yeah. Max was just throwing out fastest lap after fastest lap.
Yeah, he didn't care what anybody thought.
Good on him. As soon as he pulled away from that McLaren, we saw 2023 Max Verstappen again.
Yeah. Fernando.
How's your mum?
I haven't told her.
Oh no.
I've barely spoken to her this morning, and I haven't told her, and I don't know whether she'd know. She may have found out on social media. But yeah, complete suspension failure resulting in a DNF. And you know what? We saw it happen. That explosion of sparks was insane.
Yeah.
The
monsters are rough.
Yeah, and you know what? His radio message was really actually sad. Like,
was
sadness in his voice that really broke my heart. And you know what? Asman, please fix the car for him. I can't handle a sad to Alonso.
This has probably been Alonso's worst season in a while. Like,
ever. I don't even think Alpine was this bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Like, it's just been thing after thing, and I don't know how they can, bring this back by the end of the season. But when does his contract end?
Next year? End of next year?
Right, okay.
I think he's
already at the end of this year, and I was like, is he gonna retire? Is he just gonna be
26 or 27?
Right. Yeah, okay.
He either signed the contract this year and it ends 27, or he signed last year and it ends 26. Not 25.
Right.
But I don't know how they've retained him this long. Like,
Yeah.
they had start to 2023 with like all the podiums and everything. Like, since then,
Mhm.
slowly going down and down and down. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
fan of that. We saw like papaya rules, but in blue. I don't really understand why, but Williams asked Carlos to let Alex by. Carlos didn't seem to be doing awfully, so
Yeah, I don't really get this. Carlos was also on the mediums,
so
and Alex was on hards.
do you see, there was a few things I didn't understand this race, and that was one of them. Because
Yeah. I don't know if Carlos was struggling to catch the car in front. I can't remember what lap this was, but I don't know if maybe he was struggling to catch the car in front or Alex was struggling in the dirty air maybe.
yeah.
But there was probably more to this than what they showed on the broadcast, but it's just a little bit weird without all the info.
Yeah. And I mean, it felt like it brought on the bad omen, because next minute, we see Carlos colliding with Ollie Bearman. And you know what? It really reminded me of Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi's synchronized spin in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. Like, the way they just...
Yeah, they just tapped each other, and it was deemed a racing incident as well, so neither of them got a penalty. But oh no, wait, Ollie got the penalty.
So don't say that Ollie ended up getting the penalty, although I was scrolling TikTok and I did see somebody saying that, like, oh, FIA's done it again. Carlos got it. So I don't know. I was going to say nobody got a penalty, but it was definitely Ollie's fault.
Because I definitely don't recall who got the penalty. But on TikTok this morning, I saw that neither of them got a penalty. But then Sotsnos say it was Ollie. So you know what? If you know who got a penalty, please leave it in the comments and let us know. I do trust Soph Snodes. So I'm gonna say it was probably Ollie. All right, then we get into what Soph has titled the McLaren Pit Madness. So to set the scene,
sorry, I've googled it. Ollie Bearman definitely got a penalty. He also got 2 penalty points and is continuing to get really close to a race ban.
What?
What
do you mean?
He is now 2 points away from a race ban. Sorry, did he get 2 points or 2 points away from the race ban? Yeah, he's 2 points away from the race ban. He got a 10-second penalty. Yeah, he got 2 points. So he's 2 points away from a race ban as well now because he's on 10. So
what the
ideal. I didn't think he'd had that many penalty points this season.
No, I also didn't think that incident caused a penalty required penalty points, because judging by Soph's notes, Carlos didn't leave space for Ollie on the inside in the chicane, closed the door. Yeah. That's very similar to the incident that happened with Carlos and Liam last week, and Carlos only got a 10-second penalty. He got no penalty points.
Yeah. And that's pretty confused, because I've seen look at it, looks like, it was completely Ollie's fault. He shouldn't have tried to keep going when he didn't have room. Not room. The corner wasn't his.
Yeah.
But then others, it fully looks like Carlos turned into him. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to. Maybe I'll put the highlights on after this, and I want to look at that penalty again, because that's not how I remember it. I must have been fucking texting at that point.
I think we were talking smack at that point.
Yeah, I think we were maybe deep in conversation at that point. Okay, so yeah, the McLaren Pit Madness. Let's give you just an overview of the situation at hand. So Lando is ahead of Oscar. Yep. Lando is asked by McLaren if what they want to do with the pit stop. This is lap 43. So they still hadn't pitted either of the cars. The plan was to pit onto softs. The team had asked Lando if he wanted to pit first or to pit Oscar first to cover off Charles. Yeah. Lando said that he was happy to pit Oscar first, as long as it meant that they weren't undercutting Lando, which is fair enough. Will confirmed that that wasn't the intention to undercut Lando, and if that was the case, they would swap positions.
Yeah.
That's what they said on the radio. So Oscar pitted on lap 45 with a 1.9 second stop. Lando pitted on lap 46 with a 6 second stop.
That is so bad, especially from
McLaren. So bad.
I don't like they're like our 1.8 second goats. Like, what the heck?
Yes, and they're pretty consistent with their pit stops as well. So it was the front left, I think, the front left gun. So obviously that meant that Lando came out just behind Oscar on the pit straight. Sorry, I'm just reading Soph's notes. Yes, so came out behind Oscar. Soph's note says, Oscar, how does it feel to be God's favourite? Anyway, so what they had done is we didn't get a broadcast of Lando coming onto the radio, so I don't know if anything was said by Lando or Will, but we heard Tom come onto the radio and say, Oscar, remember Hungary 24, this is another situation like that, we're going to need you to swap positions.
Because I think we spoke about this last night, but before that, he did come on the radio and say once Lando is passed at the apex out of pit lane,
yes, you're right,
are free to race.
Yes,
but Lando never came ahead.
Yes,
which is kind of what everyone's.
You're right. I did forget about that. So as Oscar was coming around, Tom did tell him that he was free to race Lando once he was out of the pits. Obviously, because Lando ended up behind, Oscar didn't have to race. Then Tom came back onto the radio and said, remember Hungary, this is another situation like that. We're going to need you to swap positions. Then Oscar came onto the radio and said, I thought that we had discussed if it was a slow pit stop, we would leave it. But if that's what you want to do, then I'll do it. And then he got the confirmation from Tom to swap positions. He gave it up right away. And then Tom said that he was free to race. And I believe Will was also telling Lando the same thing, that Oscar would swap positions, that they were free to race, to which I believe Lando was radio silent. And he didn't say anything. And if he did, that it was not on the broadcast at all.
This is the only place where I'm going to give any sort of my own opinion, even though it's not really my opinion. Everyone is obviously battling over whether Lando should have been allowed through or whether Oscar should have held the position.
Yeah.
My only thought at this point is that both these blokes are really good team players. If Lando asks to follow team orders, he does it. Instantly does it. Oscar gets asked, same situation. So I don't think it's our business. You know what? They're both team players, they both understand the team game and they don't go against team orders. So I don't know.
And I think the most important thing to remember with this as well is everyone has their opinion, obviously. Everyone is on one side of the fence or the other. Ultimately, the gap in the championship is not mathematically big enough for it to be Oscars at the moment. Both of them still have a chance at winning. And as frustrating it is for both sides to have McLaren not pick a number one, it's just the case. They haven't picked a number one. It is still either of their game. Far out. It could still be Max's game if they take each other out for the next, 4 races. So I think, looking at it from bird's eye view, it is, and the drivers have said this too in their post-race interviews, it is the fairest option. Lando qualified ahead. He was ahead the whole race. Whatever happened. But ultimately as well, we are fans. We are watching this. We don't know anyone at McLaren. Our opinion, regardless, doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything. So really, at the end of the day, it's not that deep.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we've seen they clearly need some sort of set rule like this. Yes, you could say, just let them fight it out. Don't have umpire rules, blah, blah, blah. We've seen that that's not going to work. We've seen that they will fight it out because they're both strong drivers and they'll end up crashing.
Yeah.
Not because they want to crash into each other, just because they're both gung-ho to get that place. So I think today it's been proven that they need some sort of setup like this, and if this works for both drivers and this works for McLaren, who are we to judge?
Yeah.
As much as like, oh, we might prefer Oscar, we might prefer Lando, it literally doesn't matter at the end of the day. Our opinion is literally not even a thought in any of their minds.
Exactly. And to look at it from an even bigger perspective than just McLaren and the positions in the finishing order, if Lando had pitted first and then Oscar pitted second, he probably would have been overtaken by Charles. So as frustrating as it is, you know, it could have also been a worse situation and they couldn't have had like a consecutive finish.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, unless it's down to the wire where it's like a 1 point difference, you know, stuff like this, it just happens. And the fans of this sport really stress me out sometimes because they just get, you know, their passion. It's good. But I think when you start to get nasty, you've gone too deep, you know? Like, we're watching millionaires drive around on a circuit. Yeah. They're going to be okay.
They've got money to fall back on. It's okay, guys.
Yeah. I fear we don't need to stress about them this much, you know? Like, say lovey.
A redeeming factor exactly after this, though, that I think no matter how stressed any of us were, Max Verstappen, the literal comedian you are.
Comedic timing, 10 out of 10.
No, literally. I've literally pulled up the photo of the radio message Brit sent me last night because it's so funny. Obviously, GP is like obviously informed about what's happened. Oscar and Lando have switched, whatever. Max's response is iconic. Simply nothing other than, just because he had a slow stop. GP hitting, we believe too, business. But I guess it keeps it fair between the drivers in terms of the championship. You focus on the road ahead as well, please. He gets it. We can all laugh about
it. Yeah. And you know what? I think that did actually add a bit of fuel to the fire with the fans.
100%.
Absolutely.
They asked Max and thought it was an absolute piss take. So I thought it was hilarious personally at 12:30 last night. I was giggling.
Yeah, I was giggling as well. So Soph has put in some commentary from the F1 TV commentators on the McLaren team orders. So David Coulthard calling the McLaren team orders a manipulation outside that of the racing gods, and Jolien and Alex talking about how itchy / not good it feels for any manipulation of a race result. President, it's set. They're worried about the president it sets, and will they do this for all slip-ups? That is the burning question, and that is what everyone is kind of considering. But again, like I said, whatever we say, it's not going to change McLaren, so we're just going to have to see how it unfolds.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I understand where they're coming from, but like we've said, whatever works for McLaren, it doesn't matter. But Brit and I were speaking about this beforehand. Like, in the extent, obviously, Max is like, just because Lando has slow stop. And it makes me wonder, like, what the limit is for McLaren. Like, obviously, Lando got a 30-second stop. They're not going to make Oscar wait up for Lando. So, like, what is the limit?
Yeah.
Of, like, how far will they take it to, like, make the positions, like, right again or, like, give justice? Do you know what I mean? Like, I am curious to see, like, how far they take it.
Yeah. I think it's, I feel like it's a very grey area. But McLaren have proved that they are really open to trying to make things fair. Yeah. And so I think that they'll definitely take this incident, they'll analyse it, and they will say, okay, if this happens again, X, Y, Z, or this is why it happened. And they'll really dissect it. Yeah. And, you know, that's all I ask. That's all I ask.
And you know what? At the end of the day, they're about to take the Constructors' Championship in round 17 out of 24. So whatever they're doing is working.
Yeah.
I think many of us have a right to complain when they're literally about to take, 8 races early.
Literally. They've won the Constructors early. And also, both their drivers are championship contenders. Like, say what you will and be on whichever side of the team you're on, you can't deny that they're obviously
They've figured
doing something good, because
100%.
otherwise they wouldn't be in this situation.
No, 100%. So that's
Yeah.
our little non-biased, like,
Yeah.
love not hate, please.
Yeah.
One little crazy situation. It's not that deep.
Why can't we be friends?
I don't know why you just reminded me of that Michael Jackson song, that heal the world, make it
I'm where is the love? Where is the love? Yeah. Wow, we've had a lot of singing this episode.
Yeah, you guys missed out on the Italian national anthem singing at the beginning of the episode. No one is ever seeing that again.
Okay, so to talk about the results, the podium was Max, Lando, Oscar. Then we had Charles in P4, Lewis in P6. Who finished P5? George?
I think so. I will say I'm really upset after seeing the podium and seeing the literal, I think it's like the Dino Azure or whatever that blue Ferrari color is. That was the color of the Pirelli hats, and I'm so upset the Ferrari wasn't on the podium at Ferrari's home to get a Ferrari hat. Wouldn't that be so nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Ferrari logo.
Yeah, GRP5. Oh my goodness. Didn't realize this. Isaac Hadjar, P10.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
up.
So Isaac from the pit lane into points. Yes. Absolute slay.
Same.
Absolute slay.
You actually argue that he is not a brilliant driver. I don't want to hear any Isaac Hadjar slander.
No, he's so good. He's so good. There's a reel / TikTok that VCarb posted yesterday / this morning after the race, and it was hilarious. I think I reposted it. I'll send it to you afterwards. But I recommend everyone check that out, because again, the VCarb admin absolutely slaying.
Yeah, mate, social media manager needs a pay rise, because the way she gets these drivers to do the things she gets them to do.
Yeah.
I love it.
VCarb and McLaren have my favourite social media out of the whole grid. VCarb because it's absolutely hilarious and they're so Gen Z, they're so funny, they're so on trend. McLaren because it's usually super well crafted, very cinematic, very aesthetic, and very well constructed, and I love it. It's
I haven't looked at Ferrari Instagram in a while, but the beginning of the season, with the transition of Lewis into Ferrari, that was so and nice. I don't even know if they're still doing it. I think I blocked Ferrari. I can't handle it. Mate, I think I generally have about 3 F1 teams blocked, but we don't need to talk about that.
No, it's okay. That's a story for another time. So the post-race interviews were held by our favourite man ever. Well, my favourite man ever. Davide Valsecchi. I love him.
He was just...
Oh, he's such a sweetie. Petition to please get him to commentate the whole... Just one race, please. I have no idea what he'll be saying, but I need to see it.
Please. The way he runs up and down, the side of the track. Oh, this and this. Please. I just want that.
My favorite video of him is when his back is his back is facing towards the track, and he looks this way, and he goes, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
The wrong way, he isn't watching the car.
Mate, so what's the word?
Unintentionally funny.
Yeah, that's the word. Exactly.
Yeah. No, he's so good. The post-race interviews were not as awkward as what I expected them to be. Lando and Oscar were both being very had a really good attitude about it. Yeah, so Oscar did call it an incident. And had a little giggle to himself, which I thought was funny. And then the interview ended with Davide saying, "But it's okay."
Yeah. My darling.
Bless.
Situation.
Tiny man. And then Lando said that he had no idea what happened with the pit stop. He seemed very I don't know, none the wiser on what happened. I think that his media training is definitely improved over the last couple of races, because he really isn't saying anything until after he speaks with the team.
And he even had a giggle with it. And like, it may not have been like a ha funny giggle, it may have been like a ha, but it was nice to see him, like, a shit thing happened, and we've seen him in the past be so hard on himself, even if he came out on top, like, still so rough on himself. So it was just nice to see him be able to giggle about it, whether it was a serious thing or not. Like, it was really, like, refreshing.
Yeah, and like he said as well, he was like, look, like, it's awkward, neither of us wanted that, like, we don't want the championship to be won on, like, these little, you know, team orders. But like, it is what it is for today. Okay, so Max was then talking about how he liked how the car felt, but a bit awkward because Yuki was nowhere to be seen in the same car.
He's not in a Red Bull. I don't know what he's in, but
no,
that's not what Max is driving.
No, I don't know. I have no knowledge on the Red Bull cars. In the cool down room, the McLaren boys were chatting just fine. They were giggling with each other. You know, they didn't seem like they were mad at each other, which is also fair because it wasn't coming from either of them. It came from the team. So, you know, I feel like it's obvious that you can't be mad at each other for that. And then as everyone walked onto... Oh, no, actually, before we talk about this, I want to say one thing. One, Max came into the cool-down room late, but second of all, when he got there, he was just like this. He wasn't even watching the video. He was like... he was just looking around the whole room.
Have you ever seen Max?
Oh.
I don't know if you saw him, like, when he got out of the car and, like, ran and jumped at his team. He's, like, jumped so high in the air that he's, like, over the barricade, and they slam him back down onto the barricade. He just smacks his shin into the barricade. Oh, that's gonna... Didn't react at all, but, like, it did not look fun.
Oh, yikes.
Funny, but that's all I could see. And the way they just grab his bum. Like, come on, guys. A bit of spatial awareness.
They don't care. They're just a big family.
Yeah.
The Tifosi was singing Do 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 Max Verstappen as he walked onto the podium, which I thought was super cute. They did actually boo Lando, which is really awkward and also very sportsmanlike.
I think they did that last year as well.
I think they might have. But it's just very unsportsmanlike, you know, like, and if you're going to boo Lando for McLaren team orders, then you have to boo Oscar as well.
Hey, let's just boo Zach Brown instead. Like,
exactly.
Had like an idea about the decision. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Drivers.
Don't boo
anyone, but if you're going to boo... Oh my gosh.
Don't boo drivers.
I did have to laugh. I think it was Crofty was like, we just heard 3 national anthems there because they continued on with the do Max Verstappen the entire 2 anthems. It was like there was a mashup between the 3 anthems.
Yeah.
That was really entertaining. I did laugh.
It was the F1 outro.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
I was actually just thinking the other day about when was the last time Max won, and then I mean he won now. But I don't know the last time Max won.
Has he won this year? I think he won this year.
He won Japan?
Yeah, I think it was Japan.
I'm going to scroll back and see when the last time he won was. I'm in Belgium and it's still not happened. Obviously it wasn't England. Austria? Nope. Canada? No, that was George Russell. Spain? Oscar Piastri. Oh my god. Max. Imola. So he's won both Italian Grand Prix this year. That's absolutely iconic, actually.
He won those for Charles. He said,
yeah, he was like, if you can't win,
I'll do it. And then he won Japan for Yuki. So
he's just won the Japanese and Italian Grand Prix. That's it.
Slay.
That's kind of sad.
That is
sad. What Max Verstappen dominance?
Yeah.
I never thought I would miss. As much as I love Max Verstappen, I never thought I would miss his like race in, race out dominance.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, you know what? The 2023 season was kind of iconic. I won't lie. Just straight up
And I
aura.
mean, don't get me wrong. As much as I love Max Verstappen, we did all cheer in Melbourne in 2024 when he DNF'd. He drove past our turn as his car literally started like smoking properly, and we were all cheering. But like, out of love. Out of
Yeah.
love.
Out of love that another driver would stand on that podium.
Yeah, exactly. It was just, we were all Ferrari fans at that corner, and that put them into like first and second. So it was just really nice. Like, have a Ferrari too at Melbourne. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's fun.
But yeah, so that marks the end of Monza. And yeah, that was it. Next race, Baku, in a couple of weeks. Officially 11 days.
Very excited.
Yeah, I'm actually glad to have a little bit of a break after the last 2 races.
I feel like we should live react Baku again though.
Yeah, what time is it actually?
I think it's 9 or 10 p.m. from memory. I think that's what it usually is, at least.
Oh yeah, 9 p.m.
Yeah, that's really.
You mean I'll be in bed by midnight? Slay.
Absolutely lovely. Yeah, well, I feel like I should do that again because that was like last year.
That was iconic. I like that.
Potentially even Singapore. We'll see what happens. But yeah.
Yeah.
I react to McLaren winning the constructors. Thank
Woo!
God.
Yeah. All right. Well,
on that note,
thank you for tuning in. We love and appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah. Catch ya. Ciao.
Yeah.